Welcome back, folks. Okay, this is a kind of a take two. I didn't have my hat on a little while ago, and I got a light above me, and look at that glare. So I decided to put a hat on. Sorry, Mother Nature's little trick on me. I used to have tons of hair. In fact, Anyway, yeah, let's not reminisce. Okay, so this is going to be a short video. I just wanted to go back and re-emphasize why a lot of us reload our own ammunition. And recently, Dummy Round, I don't know if any of you have seen his channel. He's a relatively new channel, but he's got an interesting take on current problems and methods to do things. And he did some math and showed how he's reloading 9mm ammo for 6 cents a round. Awesome. Uh, I don't think I've ever sat down and actually broken it down like he did. So I'm going to put a link in the description. I want you to go over there and take a look at his video, and you'll understand, if you're a reloader, why you reload. These times of shortages, yeah, okay, try and find 9mm ammo. Try and find 223 ammo. It's almost unobtainium, and when you can find it, the prices have gone through the roof. About a year and a half ago, I bought a box of 9mm Blazer, just basic planking ammo. It was $9.95 a box for 50 rounds. Okay, that was like an average price. A few weeks ago, my friends and I, we went to the indoor range to get some first shots with the Ruger Vaquero and do some shooting with the GP 100 357. Those were my last two videos. But when we walked in, they were unboxing some ammo, uncrating ammo, whatever, getting it put up on their shelves and stuff. I walked over and they took a look at some basic, I think it was Federal American Eagle, 115 grain, 9mm ammo, $39.99 a box for 50 rounds. Now that's basically $40 for 50 rounds. That's 80 cents a round. That just, off the top of my head math, probably pretty close, but that's just astounded me. And since I just recently got the Ruger Vaquero and 45 Colt, they were putting some 45 long Colt ammo up. Again, Federal American Eagle. I walked over, $59.99. That's $60 for 50 rounds. That's over $1 a round. Are you kidding me? Years and years ago, I started reloading 9mm ammunition just because it was easier to obtain for me, and I could customize the loads for my needs. That would be considered hand loading, not just reloading, but hand loading, because I'm customizing it for my needs. Uh, Most of my ammunition, that's what I do. I know if I want a long range rifle ammunition, I can build it to that. If I want just plinking ammunition, I can build it to that. If I want handgun ammunition just for plinking, I've got that. If I want handgun hunting ammunition, I've got that. So there's so many different ways to hand load, or you can just reload, just volume. I know a lot of these guys got these Dillon machine progressive presses. Awesome. I'd love to have a 1050, or well, I think it's now 1150 XL. I'd love to have one, but I can't justify it. I don't do enough shooting nowadays. Back when I was competing in USPSA, yeah, I would go over to a friend of mine's house once, I don't know, about every 2 to 3 weeks, and I would get a big box of ammo loaded up on his 1050. Awesome. And I'd crank out some ammunition. But in the meantime, I was still reloading on a single stage press, doing one stage at a time, and I was still cranking out ammo. So, you there's so many different ways to bake a cake. So Dummy Round broke it down to 6 cents a round using cast bullets that he cast himself. Now you've got to source your lead and things like that. Great. I mean, you can do it. I get buckets of wheel weights. I'm lucky. My daughter works for a trekking company. I get wheel weights from her. I melt those down. I separate them between, well, a lot of zinc and a lot of steel. But between the clip-on wheel weights and the stick-on wheel weights, the stick-on wheel weight's going to be softer, and the clip-on wheel weights be harder. So you separate them, and that way you've got harder lead and you got softer lead. But he picks up a lot of range brass. Geez, I picked up tens of thousands of 9mm cases laying on the ground. Um, I probably I probably got 2,000 cases that are unfilled, but I've got thousands of cases of 9mm that are filled. Back when primers were easy to find, okay, yeah, you go down to your local gun store and local retailer or whatever, and pick up a couple of thousand, no problem. $20 a thousand, maybe for the more expensive ones, maybe $29 per thousand. Nowadays, primers, if you can find them, are going for like almost $50 or more, depending on if they're gouging the price or not. I can still get them right now for right around $35 for a thousand when they're available. But that's the trick. You got to find a time when they're available. So I just kind of walk you through a couple of different loads that I've got here. Some of my stash you can probably see over here. These are all 9mm over here, and then I've got 357s over here. I've even got some 45 Colts over here too. But I wanted to kind of show you why we reload. Dummy Round and I were kind of going back and forth here a few days ago, and I says, remember a few years ago when us reloaders were getting laughed at by all these other shooters saying, why do you reload 9mm when it's so cheap? Okay, yeah, maybe I wasn't saving as much money at the time, but for my situation, it was ammo availability. I didn't have to go to the store and buy it, and I just have a problem buying something when I know I can make the same thing or even better myself. And since I cast my own bullets, that's saving me even more. I don't have to go to a retailer and source jacketed bullets. I shoot primarily cast bullets in almost everything I've got. I do have some loads that are jacketed, like my 357 hunting loads. Those are usually XTPs. My rifle rounds, those are almost all jacketed except for maybe 30-30, and I'm getting into some 308s right now with cast bullets. I don't know. I've got a bunch of cases loaded up over here that I'm in the process now of building, so that's coming. But again, I customize my loads for what I need. If I want to shoot cast, because it's so much cheaper because I have the lead, then I can download them. They don't need to be sizzling out of there at 2,700 plus feet per second. You're not going to really want that with cast bullets anyway. Jacketed, yeah, that's great. And I've got a bunch of jacketed back here too. I'm going to be building several different 308 types rounds, just because I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I don't know if you know it. I'm busy all the time. I get one day off each week. Anyway, I'm going to show you some of these, and then you decide for yourself if it's cost effective to reload yourself. Now, if you're late to the reloading game, my apologies. Components, even equipment, a good press is going to cost you several $100s now. In the past, you could get a used press for $40-50. That's just the way it was. You could get primers for $20 to $30 for 1,000, and you could go to any store and just pick them up and just walk out with arm loads depending on how much you wanted. Every time we have a political event, an election, or any type of event that is going to throw the country into a chaos, always get your supplies beforehand. I was fortunate enough to do that. I have plenty. My small pistol primers, all of this 9mm that's loaded here, it's got the primers already in there, and those are the $19 a 1,000 box. Yeah, probably S&B. I don't know. I got different types of loads here. I used a lot of CCI. I've used a lot of Winchester primers, and $19 to $25 for 1,000. We were complaining back then, gee, I can't believe they're so expensive. Now look, they're more than double that price. So primers, yes, everybody is always saying, hey, where can I get primers? Where can I get primers? For those that reload and didn't stock up ahead of time. those the people that want to get into reloading are all saying, where can I find a good press, and is it available? You might find one for a decent price, but it's out of stock. When it's in stock, then they jack the price up, just because supply and demand. So go check out Dummy Round. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description to his latest video, and you decide if you want to subscribe to him or not. He's really decent guy. He's got a very dry sense of humor. I guess I do too, if you want to see my humor in there, but there's humor. So I understand him. I get his humor, and I'll show you some what I've got loaded up, and then I'll let you get on with your day. Thank you. Okay, this is just some of my 9mm I've got loaded up. Just go through some of the ways that I do this. Okay, so I've got down here for my self-defense loads, I've got my Hornady XTPs. Now, finding those are getting kind of troublesome. I will be getting some more here shortly. I've only got 30 of those left, but I've got a bunch loaded up. And recently, I had my wife pick up this box of Ultimate Defense Remington. These are 124 grain Golden Saber bullets. These are my self-defense loads. I mostly use factory ammunition for my self-defense loads, my everyday carry. For legal reasons, I do practice with the XTPs, and I practice with almost all of these different ones. Okay, so you see I've got many hundreds here. These back here are 147 grain lead bullet. They're a truncated cone. I used to use those in my USPSA shooting. There's a reason I use the 147 grain. I won't get into that, but I started using a lot more 124 and 125 grain. So let me zoom back out. And then I've got some down here. I bought some plated bullets. The ones on top there, those are a Montana bullet. Excuse me. And those shoot great. I don't have very many of them left. They're a round nose full metal jacket. And then you can see the Remington box there. It's labeled Glock. Those are pretty hot. My Glock's the only one that I would trust to shoot those bullets. I won't shoot them in my everyday carry firearm, because those are plus P, and my 16-ounce everyday carry EC9S, I just don't want to break it. And then I've got more over here. Again, 147 grain. I had thousands of those. I don't have the mold for that, but at the time I could buy 1,000 of them for right around $10. So it was really cheap to just buy them and not have to cast them. Okay, let me zoom back out. Okay, then 357s and 38s. I did buy some Federal jacketed soft points. I'll just zoom into those. Sorry. Those shoot really great. I decided to use those for a hunting load. See if I can get you down here. I'm on a tripod here, so I'm just trying to be gentle. Okay, those 357 mag jacketed soft point, 158 grain. And then you see next to it, these were some Hornady hollow base wad cutter, 148 grain. The one on the right here, that's the way hollow as a wad cutter supposed to be, but I got a little creative and I decided to turn them backwards and made hollow points out of them. And boy, talk about some beautiful mushrooms. That 8 BHN, if you keep and these are 357. Excuse me again. I just came out of Wyoming and it's cold there, so I'm getting a little bit of a congestion. But if you turn these around, you keep your velocities down 900 feet per second or less, you get some beautiful mushrooms. Again, the hand loading. Okay, so then we come down here, and then I've got my 158 grain. Oops, sorry about that. 158 grain XTPs in this one. I just got some of them turned over just so you can see what's in there. I know it's in there because I've got everything labeled. And then since I cast my own bullets, I have several, oh, sorry about this, several different molds. Okay, that's as good as I can zoom in. This right here is a Lee 358 125 round flat. It's my only 6 cavity mold I have, and I love that bullet because I can shoot it in 38s and 357s, and I can size them down, and since they're 125 grain, I can use them in 9mm, and it shoots really good in the 9mm too. And then get back out here. I got a bunch of 38s over here. Now this is not by any means my entire selection of ammo. As many of you know, I've recently gotten a Colt 45 long Colt. Takes a huge bullet. This is from my NOE 255. Yeah, what is that called again? Yeah, 454 255 hollow point NOE mold. It's brass. It's only 2 cavity, but man, this thing puts out some huge hollow points. Look at that. There's a 22 shell. It goes right down inside of it. That's pretty deep too. I'm just showing you some of the different types that I can make. I can also make it a flat point, and that's these right here. Here's the hollow points. I've just got different loads, so I powder coat them different colors. Nice thing about casting your own and doing your powder coating and stuff. And these right here, these are some I got from my friend Taco. When I first got the Vaquero, didn't have any 45 cases or bullets or anything else. Well, I had some 4.52 bullets because I shoot 45 ACP. Those are mostly 200 grain that I shoot in that though. But he was able to give me some of these, and he gave me some of these wad cutters too. And we took these out a few weeks ago and shot them. They shoot pretty well. Then another friend of mine had sent me some truncated cone 230 grain previously, and so I had those sitting around. I planned on using those in my 45 ACP, but I had them sitting there, so let's give it a try. I've got a bunch of 45 loaded, but I've got a bunch more I need to load. Kind of sidetracked into another project right now, and that's where you'll see these 25 rounds right here in the next my next video. I got a little accessorizing that I'm doing to my Vaquero, my 45 Colt, and I'm going to show that. But these were some we took out and we shot a few weeks ago, and you probably, if you saw the video on that, you know they shoot really well. And yeah, I was really happy with how the Vaquero shot, and I can't wait to get out again and do some more. But as soon as I finish with my accessorizing on the, I call this a bronze, mixed of powder coats. This I call my raspberry smoothie. It's mixing your own powder coat. It's my little expression, or my little creative expression. This right here I call orange smoothie, although it's starting to really get brown. And that's these right here. And I powder coat different colors just so that I can use different loads and I can identify them quicker. And this is my old lead. This is actually my favorite to use, but I try to use it sparingly. To make up more, you never know if you're going to get the exact same coloration, and I'd be kind of disappointed if I used that up and wasn't able to make that same mix again. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you understand why I reload, or I hand load. And oh, I was showing you the mushrooms. This is mushroom here from one of those hollow base wad cutters. And it was like a little over 8/10 of an inch, and this was one of my first attempts, and that was about 700 feet per second. So they do mushroom out. My mushroom farm. One of these days I'll get me a shelf and build me my mushroom farm like Uncle Jim does. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you found it something interesting. And don't forget to go over and check out Dummy Round. Thanks.